The following may contain language which will be offensive to some people and inappropriate for children. Still here? Then pour your favorite beverage and let's get this fucking show started.
Fantastic Forum, assemble. You are watching Fantastic Forum, the premier show about comic books and your live weekly conversation about entertainment and geek culture. We are the Fantastic Forum, coming to you live and direct from the Hall of F. Hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, as the case may be, depending on where you are in the world. And if you're not, you should stick with us. We'll help you take it up a notch. You have the usual suspects in the building. First, he is our riddle inside of an enigma, trapped in Chinese finger cuffs. You don't know him. You love him anyway. He's our silent assassin, Jay.
Hey, what's up?
What's up indeed, Jay? Next, he's the backbone, the pillar, the strength of Fantastic Forum, our nigh invulnerable brawler and resident strongman, Moses Magnum.
What's up? I mean,
what's up? What's up? Next, he is our resident Dark Knight detective. He's next in line for the cowl. He's our intrepid senior reporter. It's Oz. Indeed. Oz got the beard jumping off and the puppy tail in the background. I'm not mad at you. Yeah, we're the Fantastic Forum. I said that already, but we got a great show for you today. It's the first show of 2023, which is exciting.
Did you introduce yourself?
Oh, I guess I should do that.
No,
they don't. I'm the other one. I'm the other one. No, my name's Lawrence Young. They call me Mayor Young. Welcome to Fantastic Forum. Like I said, great show for you today. First show of 2023. We're going to talk about some comic books. I think we're going to talk about Timeless. We're going to talk about some other stuff because, it's like we're going back to the roots a little bit. Grab bagging sons of celibates, unholy Beelzebubic. You know what I mean? Somebody's like, I don't understand what he just said. But, it's Fantastic Forum. So enjoy. But before we do all that,
oh, never mind.
Huh?
Sorry.
No, go ahead. What are you going to say?
I'm just, because it's bugging me. Am I too dark? Not like, for the Midwest. I mean, for like camera. You're not too dark. What it is usually your background is a different color. And right now it's not. Yeah, but that light just washed me out, and so I turned it off. I moved everything around. You look okay, I think. Let's take a closer look.
Like you're
myself.
Like the top half and the bottom half of you match the background. Like
literally before you guys played the intro, the monitor was up higher and I kept looking at myself like doing this. So I moved it and now everything's out of whack.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Whatever.
No, you look all right. I feel like you'll make it.
Oh, you're just saying that because you're drunk.
Am I drunk? What am I drunk off of?
Are you not drunk?
No.
What's wrong with you? Why are you not drunk?
How often? Look, I don't even know if I can actually do Fantastic Forum actually drunk.
Well, then you're not doing it right.
You did it on the roofie one.
Look, I roofied myself like a dummy. And look, I was useless that show. Useless. I literally remember Moses being like, right, Larry? And I just be like, oh. Yeah, I'm like blathering blather skates. That's it. Like I just remember literally just saying nonsense. Like I would I'd have to go back and actually listen to that show to see how much I actually contributed, but I feel like very little.
I mean,
that's what
like any other show to me.
Oh, you're a son of a celibate. Kids, don't take friggin' allergy medicine and drink alcohol at the same time. It's a bad look. Don't do that to yourself.
Oh, I forgot about the scissor.
It wasn't scissor. Scissor is intentional. This was me having a bad allergy day and then doing the show later and forgetting that I took allergy medicine, and I'm just like, why can't I stay awake? You know, like, but you know.
So if you're really tired and you can't sleep, allergy meds and alcohol.
No,
Yeah.
don't do it.
Look, Larry. It took Larry like 3 days to wake up.
It was bad.
And on the third
It was
day, he
real.
rose.
He rose on the third day.
Oh man.
He
But
rooted
anyway,
for our city.
shout out to Scott Rubin. The show wouldn't exist without him. Scott, hope you're doing well, feeling good. Hope to see you soon. If you want to get down with Fantastic Forum, we do have a few different ways to do it, and I think we do have our lovely intern to tell us how.
Want to get in on the action? Call Fantastic Forum on Skype and join the fun. Too shy to call in? That's okay. You can join the Discord chat room available at
FantasticForum.live.
Join the party. You know you want to.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You should also tell the people to like, subscribe and stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Subscribe to Fantastic Forum, please. We would actually really appreciate that. We need more subscribers. So do
What
that.
else do they need to do? They have to like, subscribe.
And push the notification bell.
And comment.
Oh, geez. Is that the notification bell noise? Oh, is that the fire alarm? What is that?
That's the triangle.
Yeah, the triangle.
Oh,
Is Jay playing the triangle?
Jay played the triangle. There it is. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like Ed Grimley up in this bitch.
Look, there's not enough Ed Grimley references in the world. Ed Grimley. That's so crazy.
I haven't been
we'll take
able
a com-
to sleep for like the last few days. And so I'm like,
Uh-huh.
you know what? I'm going to put a podcast. Maybe a podcast will put me to sleep. I put our podcast. And it was an older
It's
episode.
in our show.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm finally falling asleep. And then I hear the ding. And I'm like, oh, shit, we haven't done that in a while. and then I couldn't sleep again.
When did we used to
Hilarious.
play the
When we first started doing this YouTube shit, we're like, we need a bell sound effect. And Jay's like, I have a triangle. And they're like, yeah, record yourself playing the triangle, and then we'll do that. And that's when that noise came about. And I'm like, oh yeah, we haven't done that in a while.
Listen, I don't remember any of that. That's hilarious. That's you actually playing the triangle, Jay?
No, it's one of my
Just say
sounds
yes.
on from my music producing software.
Jay. The right answer is yes, Jay. Yes.
Yes,
technically
I do
played
play
it.
the triangle.
Jay has his triangle off to his left, but he won't show us. No. We'll take your comments directly out of chat and bring them into the show, such as insert a witty chat comment here, please. Tiger Claw. Go ahead, Jay.
says, "What's up, Fantastic Forum? You guys seen the trailer for Evil Dead Rise? You're going to have to drag Larry to see it, whether he wants to or not." The trailer is in our Discord.
It is.
I did check it out. It
Mhm.
looks really good. I got something special planned for Larry though.
Uh-oh.
So we can't make him watch Evil Dead Rise.
like the
Listen,
movie.
I think Larry, we shouldn't force Larry to do those things. They're very traumatic for him, and he's just not happy. So, like, let's just not do it anymore.
Thank you, Mo. I appreciate that.
Well, that and I don't want. He wants me to watch Love After Lockup, and I'm not gonna do that.
It's so true. I told Mo to Mo's brother said we should have Mo force him to watch Love After Lockup the same way how you all forced me to watch the scary movies, and I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. Mo, all of a sudden, Mo's like, "Oh, you don't have to watch scary movies anymore." Oh man,
Like, we can't
I
get
didn't
him.
even
To watch,
know.
we can't get him to watch regular movies we do on this show. How we can get him to watch that?
Yeah. Ugh. Anyway, I saw that we had the Evil Dead Rise trailer in our Discord, and I thought about watching it, and then I didn't because I was like, I don't know, that the eyes on that woman kind of scared me in the friggin' uh in the thumbnail, and I was like, maybe in the day tomorrow.
Is it part of the Evil Dead universe?
Say again?
Is it part of the Evil Dead universe?
I don't believe so. I believe it is part of, like, I believe it is a sequel to the 2013 remake.
I think that is still part. I still think that is still kind of in universe in a weird way, if I remember correctly.
I think it is,
But-
but it's like it is a remake though, right? There was like a lot of like repeat.
No,
happened.
it is
I
a
mean,
lot of
the
repeat
original-
happening.
The last Evil Dead, not this one.
No, but the it is a repeat of what happens, but it happens differently. And I think Ash versus Evil Dead, the TV show, kind of harkens back to the movie, referencing it as another event.
Okay.
Well, I just know that the campy horror that Tiger Claw's talking about was not present in the 2013 remake.
Yeah, that was really good.
Is that good or bad?
I kind of missed the campy horror, but the movie itself was not terrible.
Wasn't
I'm
scary,
not-
right? It wasn't.
Ask it
scary.
again, Oz. I'm sorry.
It wasn't scary, right?
Yeah,
I didn't
Uh,
watch it. I saw clips of it, but I remember not wanting to watch it.
I wasn't scared, but you know,
Yeah, but that
I was
you-
watching it at home.
Like, can Lawrence watch it?
I wouldn't waste it on Lawrence.
Wow. Wait a minute. Waste.
I said that wrong.
Wait. no, but you said what was in your heart, though. I heard you.
No, what I meant was
You're
like,
trash. I hear
know
you.
Lawrence doesn't like horror movies, and so if I wanted to get him to watch one, there are better movies to get him to watch than the Evil Dead, than Evil Dead 2013. Like that
How
would be a
about, like-
waste of Lawrence watching a horror movie when there are
But-
better movies out there.
in terms of the reactions he would have, like just to watch those reactions on YouTube, do you think it would be a waste?
There are better movies for like Lawrence reactions, I think.
Okay.
I'm thinking of 5 movies right now
Yeah, name them. Name
that
them.
Lawrence said he was gonna watch. I'm keeping that on hold. Like, fingers crossed. That'll be part of our 30 days of Halloween.
Oh, jeez. 30 days.
You're only
Yes.
in 5 of those days, so you'll be okay.
Did they make it October longer? What's going on?
No.
Derek H says the trailer is scary. No Bruce Campbell at all. That's funny.
He says it looked like their house to him.
It looked like what?
Like, because Tiger Claw says it takes place on a high-rise building. He goes, "Looked like a regular house to me."
Mm. There it is, because
Pretty
that's
sure
Derek
it
H.
was a high rise.
That's money. That's Money Hopkins. It's like he's like, oh, that's just what houses look like now, high rises. So yeah, but yeah, I'll watch it tomorrow. But yeah, I will say too, like not being like I can't speak to in any way to be like, oh, I'm just like Evil Dead aficionado, but I feel like the campy aspect of it is supposed to be kind of like on brand for it, right? Like that's kind of like part of the thing.
But that's
Yeah.
Bruce Campbell. But that's Bruce Campbell. Like everything he does has a little bit of that.
Mhm.
Even so, that's like if he's not making an Evil Dead movie, it doesn't have to have it. You know, if it does, then it's really bad. Like it's his way of doing it. Like he's like a fan of like like Laurel and Hardy meet the Wolfman, or versus Frankenstein. Like that's what he likes. So that's how he kind of did those.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So it's 2023, which is still kind of crazy to me because it doesn't feel like it's a new year for some reason. I don't know. That might just be me, but it is either way. And do you all have any resolutions for the new year? Anything that you all want to share with the audience? It's not too personal.
Do you guys still do resolutions?
I haven't.
Do resolutions. Not exactly. Like I more try to like plan shit out, and then if I do it, then I bring it up at the end of the year. Like you notice, I didn't like say anything at the end of last year because nothing happened of it. But I do have a plan. I am gonna start. Like I know I've been slacking a lot on my music, so I'm gonna get back into that for the new year.
Nice. I'm excited to hear that. What about you, Oz? Or are you beyond resolutions?
Yeah, I don't do those.
That's fair. You just make plans and execute.
Yeah. Well, it's like the saying goes: you make the plan, execute the plan. Plan goes off the rails. Throw away the plan. That's how I live my life. It's an Arrowverse quote.
What about you, Moses?
I told Emily my resolution was to learn to dance because she likes to dance.
Did you really tell her that?
Yeah.
What kind of dance?
Oh,
You should watch Hear This.
Is it the forbidden dance?
forbidden the lambada.
One at a time, please, because I don't know what's wrong with my system, but it keeps cutting out, so I can only the lips at once.
I'm sorry, I said the lambada.
There you go. Okay, yeah. No, I mean whatever it takes.
Taking Tugboat says, I recently got recommended an FF podcast from 2 years ago by YouTube. In the thumbnail, Oz was drinking a pint. Some things change, some things don't.
I love it. There it is. Thank you, Taking Tugboat, for that.
Also, earlier, he said, Happy New Year's, gentlemen. If you have to ask yourself if you are drunk, then you are drunk.
That's true. But
That's why
drunk
I
people
stopped
don't
asking.
Right. Drunk people don't ever ask if they're drunk, right?
But
I feel like drunk people. Did you? Am I drunk?
Yeah. But the answer kept being yes so often that I just stopped asking.
Yeah, anytime you meet me, if you need to ask if I'm drunk, yes. Yeah, even if you don't
I feel like
that I'm drunk, yes. Yes. Except like driving, like I'm sober between my destination point.
Between 10 and 2.
Watching this.
I feel like am I drunk is the question that like people ask themselves that want to do things that they don't want to take responsibility for. You know what I mean? Like people that are definitely sober, but they want to say something or they want to do something that they feel like, oh, that I don't know if I want to be held accountable for what happens next. Like, am I drunk? Am I drunk? Like that's the only time I've heard people ask if they're drunk, and it's like, like, no, Susie, you're very sober, but just do what you want. Do what you want. Like, you're in a judgment-free zone right now. We're not gonna record it and put it onto YouTube later. At least I'm not. Can't speak for the rest of these degenerates.
I am very. I judge everybody on a daily. Like every second, every move you make, every step you take.
Oz is watching you.
I'm way out of tune.
Oh, can't you see? I'm sorry. Am I drunk? Am I drunk?
I can't believe
I'm
people
drunk.
think that's a love song.
Hey, they love it, man.
Proper anthem ever, and that's our wedding song. I'll be watching you.
Yeah, man. All right, cool. Look, y'all want to talk about some comics already?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Hold
Jay.
on.
Jay, is your oh, I'm sorry.
Comic book
Review.
comic book
Like
review.
well, not like that, but like
I'm a little sad that we haven't decided to talk about a movie today, so I can't hear comic book theater. Comic book theater.
we could talk about Avatar.
Oh yeah, we sure can't we?
Can
I
we?
forgot
Though?
that was the thing.
Like, can we though?
No, I can't because I haven't seen it either. But
I haven't.
look,
seen it either.
apparently you and I are the only ones, Moses, because the movie made ridiculous amounts of money, right? Like it's just like us. We're the only ones that decide not to see it. Apparently.
Well, I hate censorship. That's why I didn't go see it. Because Disney took out the sex scene with the tails in the first one.
There was one.
Yeah,
No,
and it's not on. It's not on anymore.
Wasn't that every time they touch tails?
I don't think it's every
Well,
time.
no,
right? Isn't there-
they touched the hair braid with the animals, and then they touched
Oh,
tails.
tail. I was thinking the ponytail. Okay, totally different.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, right? Or is it two different tales?
No, they had a full-on sex scene that was like pretty graphic. If you're a Na'vi, it's like, man, this is like porn.
They're like, whoa.
Yeah. So
Is there a separate tale for the sex than there is for bonding with the animals? I don't remember.
it's the hair braid for the animal, and it's the hair braid for the animals, and the tail, the tail, the prehensile tail for fucking.
Okay. And they just and that they've done away with that, even though you haven't seen the movie.
No, the old one, the first movie.
Oh, they censored it on Disney Plus.
They took it out on Disney Plus. Yeah,
I didn't realize that's what you were saying. I thought we were talking about the new one.
that's what I said. I didn't watch the new one. I said I watched the old one.
Got it.
Come on, Larry.
How-
Are you
like-
drunk?
Look, am I drunk? Am I drunk? Look, wait. And so that scene is just completely gone, huh?
It literally, like, they start it and then it cuts off, and it's like the dude in the little, like, it takes you out of the experience of the movie.
That's hilarious.
It's like
it's like
abrupt. Like
it's
I have
weird that
blue ball.
it's weird that they would totally like take you out of that, or not take you out of that. They would take that out because it's like, I mean, I get it. Like I understand. I think that the people that you would be concerned with seeing that aren't going to understand it
Who?
on the level. Like I'm talking about, like I would assume they're talking about, like, it's like young people, right? Like you don't want like people that are too young
I mean,
potentially.
it has a rating. Like Disney has a whole set for adults and a whole setting for adults and kids.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is, it's weird to take it out because the people that you're probably concerned with seeing that aren't going to be the ones that get it anyway. So, yeah, like it doesn't
And
make
it's like,
sense.
what's the
but-
worst that can happen? They beat off to Navi, like people fucking. Like they learn how to use their tail. Like their
Right,
innocence
exactly.
is lost. Like,
Right. It's like it's completely
Like,
it's completely fictional type stuff happening. So
I don't want to have to answer those questions to my kid. Disney, yeah, like the fuck, it's two fucking tails touching.
yeah, man.
Like, meanwhile, the fucking Nala and Simba roll around, and it's like it cuts off after he like ate her out twice.
Whoa, wait, what? Like, I don't think that's how that happens in that movie.
Pretty-
Any of the Lion King.
Pretty graphic.
It's pretty graphic. It's like I'm just thinking about like the family of the kid that does have like the friggin' the tail, and he's like how do I get my tail to open?
Right,
He's
Simba was like, "What? We could do this."
His parents have to figure out how to tell him that his tail doesn't work like that. Yeah. It's rough.
It's so stupid.
Okay.
But I hate that I'm paying for Disney Plus. Like, I want my
Okay.
Navi.
You want your Navi tentacles? Is that what you said?
Navi sex.
Navi sex. Got it. Well, look, you're gonna have to pay extra for that, sir.
Where? Like, you gotta buy a Blu-ray?
Listen, if you live in Los Angeles, friend, I'm sure you can find it somewhere. you pay enough money, you'll definitely understand how those tales work by the end of that night. Am I right, Jay, or am I right?
You're right.
See, talk to Jay later. He'll hook you up with where.
I'm scared now.
Look. All right, let's talk about Timeless. Did everybody get to read this book?
I read it.
Okay.
I read it too.
Mo, you don't seem too excited about talking about Timeless. Tell the people why you're not that excited about reading Timeless.
I read it already. Like, we reviewed it already. Timeless #1. It
We
happened
did
to
in
be
fact
20.
review Timeless.
21. And like, you put one book a year, you could still call it issue 2. Like, why does it need to be #1? The covers look nearly identical. Like, I was at the store.
Pull up the covers, Jay. Pull up the covers.
I was
Okay.
at the store and I saw that, and I'm like, Timeless #1. I already got this. Why is this here? Like, is it a reprint? All right, yeah, it's a reprint. I'm not gonna get it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, what the fuck?
That's
I'm trying to
fair.
buy fucking comics. You know, like,
Right.
it looked like a reprint
And-
to me, or a second printing. Like,
Right.
and then it was like, oh, I think we should really do Timeless. You know, and then mind you, he told me in 2023, oh, that was last year's. This year's is better. And I'm like, it came out last week. I'm like, wait, what do you mean last year? You know, because I think we reviewed Timeless #1 in 2022, but it's a 2021 book. And then I guess this one is technically 2022, but we're reviewing it in 2023. And it's
Yeah.
like, man, what the fuck? Like, one book a year, and you still call it like a #1 every single time. Like, put one shot on it, or do Timeless and then the subtitle. The book itself has a subtitle.
Yeah.
Like-
A subtitle wouldn't hurt.
It
Or you
doesn't-
can do, like I said, you can
don't get why
do.
I don't get why they didn't just say like Timeless #2 or Timeless 2023. You know, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, it really irritated me. Like, I'm over here looking for the episode to show Larry. See, you talked about it. Your memory sucks, Larry. You idiot. And then no, I was the idiot because I didn't know that a book named Timeless #1, 12 months apart, are two different books.
Yeah, the Timeless that we talked about last time, which was, like you said, Timeless #1, but it came out, if I'm not mistaken, just like how this one did, basically like the last week of the year. So, and Timeless #1 2021 kind of like teased some of the stuff that was going to happen throughout the year for like Marvel Comics. And it was interesting because Timeless 2022 came out, I went back to read the 2021 book, which I'm a fan of. I really liked that book. So that is Timeless #1.
Is that the one we're supposed to read?
No.
Okay, well that's the one I read.
Now show me the new one, Jay.
I will.
Wait, that's the one you read. I was like,
Yeah, the one where he's where he's Doctor Who. He's got his little assistant.
Yeah, but we had read that. Oh, maybe you weren't with us that time. And so that's Timeless 2022. That was the one that I was like saying, like, yeah, we should read that one. Which the covers aren't they're not identical, but thematically they definitely share a lot in common. Because you have like Kang.
The curves are the Kang, the position, the pose of Kang, the Fibonacci curve sequence of the background design is the same mathematical sequence. And it's like, if you were to tell me that this is the second printing of that book, I'm like, oh yeah, all right. I just think I like this cover a little better.
Right.
But and I was at the shop and I saw that and I'm like, I already read this. Why is it saying new this week?
Right.
And then I asked somebody, I'm like, hey, why is this new this week? And he's like, because it's new this week. I'm like,
was that really the answer?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Which
yeah.
Hey, look, yeah. I mean, which was the right answer, but you could, like this is what we talk about sometimes with some of these comic shops and how you get service. It's like, dude, like help me help you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like let this person know, like, oh well, there was a book like this like a year ago. This is another installment of it, even though it's #1 again.
I said, oh, I already read this, and he's like, oh, okay, good, yeah, like.
He's like, good for you.
Yeah. What do you want a fucking cookie, you fat fuck? That's what he said to me, Larry. It's all your fault.
I'm sorry that I exposed you to that kind of ridicule,
Abuse.
Moses. That kind of abuse. I apologize.
This is dumb. I'm glad I did.
What is dumb?
I just started like looking through some of the pages, and the one where the alien tells him something, he's like, like, dude, come on, that's not Kang. Come on.
You got to keep reading.
You talking about in the new one?
Yeah, in the new one. No, the old one is good. I liked it. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
It was really good. I didn't even know that it was supposed to tell you what happens in the Marvel Universe in the coming year. I just enjoyed every second of it. Man, it was a good book. I'm such to only make one.
and I feel like that is definitely like, it was interesting going back and reading Timeless #1 from 2021 at the end of 2022, because as a Marvel fan, it teased a lot of stuff. And a lot of it was stuff that, you don't know what's going to necessarily happen throughout the year. You have some idea of stuff because, especially considering what we do, we have insight in what stories are supposed to be coming up. But when I went back and read Timeless 2021 again, I was like, damn, like they really like foreshadowed a lot of things that happened. Like, and I was just like, oh, that's super cool. Like they talk about Judgment Day. They talked about like Reckoning War. They talked about a lot of stuff. But because it's Kang, it all fits inside of the construct of the story, because like, oh yeah, Kang knows about future stuff because Kang bounces around the time stream all the time. And it was just like it's very seamless, where it's like just like you said, Mo, where it's like you're just reading a Kang story. It's not like, it doesn't necessarily feel like they're teasing you or teeing up stories throughout the year. But because I read the last Timeless, when I read the one this year, or I'm sorry, not this year, but for 2022, I was like, oh, like I was more aware of it, and it's really interesting stuff. But the best part, at least to me, and I think Oz, you might share the sentiment about 2021's version, is at its core, it's just a good story about Kang, and it doesn't even feel like it's like teasing you for upcoming Marvel events necessarily.
The old one?
Yeah, the old one and the new one.
I didn't get any of the teasers. Like I know those panels are flashing, and which what made me think that this was the new one, because it's got that new skull on the Punisher that one image. So
yeah,
okay.
But understand that when that happened in Timeless, Punisher didn't have that skull yet.
Yeah, I didn't get any of these references.
No, but like you when you read it, you're like, oh no, I didn't understand it was a teaser, because you already had seen that was something that had happened. But when we read it initially, that had not happened yet.
Oh, I just realized that's Superior Spider-Man too.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. And Mary Jane, is that Mary Jane fighting? Is that Storm in the Black Panther outfit? Is that a thing that happened?
I don't know if Mary Jane definitely fought Storm because she got
it's a female Black Panther with white hair coming out, so it makes me think it's Storm.
Oh no, I don't know if that happened, or at least if it did, it might have happened in a Black Panther issue that I did not read. That could have happened. I don't know.
I don't believe that's a thing that exists.
Hey,
I don't know why you hate Black Panther.
I don't hate Black Panther.
Oh, because you're a woman. I see. It all makes sense.
That's what it is.
Right,
look, Mary Young, the enemy of Black women.
You got enemy implies that you're some kind of a threat. They don't care about you.
Hey, amen. Black women are way too powerful for me. No, that's why I don't mess with them. Everyone knows that about me.
Right. It's not hatred. It's a fear. We understand. I don't know. This review is like, I don't know what book you're talking about, because now I got books. You're telling me this book came out, the one that I read came out years ago, and I'm seeing like stuff that we talked about throughout the year. So like
that's it. That's the whole point of Timeless. Literally 20 Timeless 2021, which is the one you read, teased a lot of things that happened in the Marvel Universe throughout 2022. And now Timeless, which is the book that we're talking about today, Timeless 2022, teases some of the stuff that's going to be happening throughout 2023. And so, which, I mean, a lot of it is stuff, I know for me, where I was just like, oh, I'm not exactly, a lot of it is stuff I'm uncertain of personally, where I'm just like, oh, I don't know like what that means necessarily. But One of them, which I was like, oh, okay, I did see, was it teases
Ghost
like
Wolverine, Ghost Rider Wolverine.
no, that's actually one that I was just like, I'm not like I'm not sure where that comes from exactly, because I do know that they do have like a future, like there's a Wolverine that has the Phoenix Force, but
Didn't they kill
outside
the
of
Phoenix
that,
Force yet?
is it didn't they kill it? You said?
Last
Yeah.
I remember, they split it in among 5 X-Men.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
and
see
then
that's
they like brought it back together so they could kill it.
I don't think you can.
yeah,
Kill it.
but
You can kill the Phoenix Force, but won't it just like revive? Like
of course, exactly. It's the Phoenix Force. Like it's not going to stay dead.
What if you use the Infinity Gems?
That would make it tougher. It's possible, but you know, at the same
that actually-
time,
Okay, I got 2 questions. Sorry, my brain
Mhm.
is like all over the place because I got 2 books from different timelines going on now. Question number 1 about the current book. They
okay.
show the Pet Avengers. Wasn't Throg Thor turned into a frog? Or was
No.
that a
Yeah, but
frog
it wasn't.
worthy?
No, there was one that was, but it was out of continuity
Right.
too.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
but
secondly,
so there's both. Mhm.
because second question, because we've had this argument: are they stones or are they gems? Because in the book, they're stones.
No, they're gems. They're
In the
gems.
book,
They're
They're
stones.
stones.
They're stones. They're not
And-
stones.
and I
They're
believe,
gems.
they're even the movie color
Not they're.
in last year's book.
I mean, is that the one with Thanos with the hammer?
No, it's the one. It's the one where Doom has the stones as eyes.
Oh, that part. Yeah.
So if
Yeah, I
it's
mean it.
predicting the future of the Marvel universe. Then in that future, it has turned the gems into stones. So argument.
I mean, listen,
there's stones across the multiverse.
they're gems in like they're gems in the 616, but there are other realities where they probably are stones, and that's okay, right? So, but generally speaking, they're gems.
I mean, the smartest man in the Marvel universe called them stones.
In his reality, they're stones, but that's a pirate. Like it's literally a pirate timeline. Like by definition, it's not one of the recognized timelines. They're like, who's this guy trying to mess around? And which is like a cool ass story. Like just the idea that it's like somebody's trying to join this rogue timeline onto the main timeline. I guess that's such a cool thing. And Kang just goes to stop them because that's what Kangs do sometimes, right? Like nah. It's like, don't get your crappy timeline on our good timeline. But
And the Demo Goblin is gonna have the Carnage symbiote. That's pretty cool.
well, that's already happened actually. Yeah, Red Goblin is a thing.
I remember
But-
Red Goblin.
Yeah, but they do tease that in this. Say again.
He's a demon goblin.
Like Red Goblin is literally Norman Osborn with the Carnage symbiote, and
But
you know,
this
like
has a-
say that again.
the Demo Goblin.
What about Demo?
He's a
Goblin?
Demo Goblin. Is Norman Osborn a Demo Goblin too?
Not that I know of.
Because right here is the Demo Goblin with a Carnage symbiote. But he's got a flaming head.
Oh yeah, he does have a flaming head in the thing, right?
Yeah.
I guess. But yeah, I don't know if that means like he has like a Ghost Rider kind of thing going on, or what? Which could be the case, but the Red Goblin is Green Goblin, but with the symbiote.
One
And
thing I do have to ask. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, because I'm looking at the picture that you're looking at, and the Red Goblin, he didn't have it looks like it's a Ghost Rider skull, but he does, like, it does glow, and like his mouth when it opens and his eyes, they do glow yellow with like smoke coming out. So if that's like shadowed in the front, like that could just be Red Goblin without necessarily a Ghost Rider thing. Because like, did he have Ghost Rider in him? Because now I'm looking, his little thing that he rides on is like glowing and on fire. Like
Right. I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying. Demo Goblin, it has a fire bat that he rides.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah. No, I hear
Armor's
you.
there.
I don't know.
I hate it.
Yeah. You don't like armor?
It's because
Why
of
don't you
Marvel
like
Snap.
armor?
I don't like armor.
But it's interesting because like that teases a book that's coming up with Bishop. He has like an academy where he's teaching like combat training to the people on Krakoa. So I know that teases that. I don't know what this Spider-Man like Nightcrawler combination thing is that's happening over here. That was interesting.
That's in one of the
like-
books that I think came out called I think it's Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Oh yeah?
I think that's what it is.
Why is it Nightcrawler?
I don't know, but
No one knows.
yeah, I mean, I'm just saying I think that's what it is, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, that's cool. No. Like I'm not telling you you're wrong because I don't know. I'm just curious like everybody else. But yeah, it'll be interesting because I feel like I'll have a similar experience if they do a timeless 2023, and I'll read 2022 again and I'll be like, oh. Look, we're gonna review them every time they come out, Mo.
if
just
that's
so
the
you know.
case, you need to step away from this number one nonsense and just put the year. You like Madden, just put the year.
Just put the year. No, and
There's
Go ahead,
very
Mo.
few people. There's very few people that buy physical comics. If I'm at the shop, like, you need to make sure that I know that that's not a reprint of something I've already read. You know,
right.
it's hard enough with the
Right.
Illuminatis, but yeah, at least they followed their numbers. Like,
Yeah.
they were numbered in sequence.
There was a mini series, and then there was an ongoing series.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah.
So Oz, I understand you read 2021, so you didn't read this one. But Mo, Jay, you read the right book. What did you all think of this story? Why don't we start with you, Jay? Because we all been talking. What do you think of this story so far?
I didn't really get into it.
Okay. And why is that?
It's a little too cliche. There's the part where he's like, "Oh, I haven't run in a while. It makes me feel alive." After he like just did like a 5-page monologue about being bored. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I've seen that. You're not really doing anything with it. And I'm not a huge Kang fan in the first place, so
Mm-hmm.
it's not really like his boredom isn't compelling to me.
Mm.
And then it just kind of gets average. I didn't realize that they were teasing stuff, so that makes more sense now.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it was weird, like they kept showing random stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Knights seem cool, but you know,
Okay.
like all their
Yeah.
names were spelled wrong.
Like basically, like they're not spelled like the classic names of the knights.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely intentional.
I know
They're
it's
like
like a trademark thing,
right.
but still.
Is it a
Right.
trademark thing or is it like a rogue timeline thing?
No, it's a trademark
It's
thing.
it's probably a little bit of both, but it's more a trademark thing, right? Like, yeah, but it's interesting, Jay, because like I can understand where you're coming from with that, where you say like, oh, like some of it felt like kind of cliche and like they're just retreading tropes. But it's interesting to me that you felt that way about what Kang, like how Kang was represented, but that you felt like the knights were cool. Because I know for me, like the part that I kind of felt was tropey was the knights, and I was just like, oh, like we don't need these knights. Like these could have all been like these could have totally just been original characters. Like I didn't, I don't, I guess in my mind, I'm just like, why are we doing like these knights? And I'm not saying, I guess I'm not saying it's something that happens all the time because it doesn't. But like the Knights of the Round Table or people being called by like Knights of the Round Table kind of call signs is something that happens every so often. But it's more so one of the things where it's like the Knights of the Round Table did it in like the 1500s, right? Like, it's like what's more tropey than something that's like always been there, So I'm just like, oh, like that was the part that kind of annoyed me. But you were like, oh no, this it's cool that they have knights.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they were interesting, and it was fun watching Kang like take them out.
Yeah.
Particularly Long Shot. Like that was actually pretty cool.
Wait,
I don't remember
which one
his
is
name.
Are you
But the
talking
one
about?
with the probability manipulation guy?
Oh, got you. I think is that Parsifal, the icon. I think
Possibly.
so. Yeah, but I hear
But
you.
the way he took him out was actually really cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
And
his power
I
is
will.
so dumb.
That's fair. But no, and I will say that I do feel like the type of or maybe the way that the each night ended up manifesting, like and demonstrating their powers was interesting. I think and I guess that was the part for me where I'm like, all these characters are interesting enough without being like uh pushed into a Knights of the Round Table kind of trope. Like you don't need that, but hey, Jed McKay felt different.
Tiger Claw has a question. He's asked, this Kang you guys are talking about, is he a variant, and is he good or bad? Well, he's bad. That's why he can't get what he wants, because he's a bad guy.
And as far as asking if he's a variant, leave that MCU shit out of this. Like that's
Wait, I mean, is that really MCU stuff, or is it just what the MCU calls alternate versions of?
yeah, like because this isn't the alternate one. Like they wouldn't be making one book a year on an alternate. Like you know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's just a different point in the infinite timeline for him. Like
Right.
because even he's like, is this just what it feels like to be becoming Immortus? You know, like, because he knows
Right.
eventually he's going to be Immortus. So it's like, even as Immortus and them have been together in the same room sometimes, it's still
Right.
like he knows that that's just part of it, you know. So yeah, you
Right.
can't. I mean, yeah, don't leave that variant shit out of here. Like, even if it is a variant, the way that comics would do it is more evolved. Like, variant is for dummies. Like, that's for people
Oh,
to
wow.
really like enjoy a high concept thing like this, you know.
So what do you call like the Council of Kangs? What do you call all those Kangs? Are they
They're all
the same?
Kang.
Are
They're
they-
all
but
just
they're not,
Kang.
they're not all the same timeline though, right? They're different.
No, they're not. They're different. Yeah. And Council of Richards are all from different universes, but you're still just calling them Reed
Mhm.
Richards. Yeah. Try calling them
That's
one of
true.
them a variant. They'll fuck you up.
Because that's what Kangs do. Man, what you mean variant? I'll variant you.
Yeah. The only thing I found interesting in this book and riveting was a little chess game at the end,
Mm.
like Ultron.
And what was it about
and-
it that you liked?
Well, because if it's teasing, sorry, this shit's fucking blowing up. If it's teasing anything, like that's the shit I'm more curious about teasing. Like, it knocked out the chess piece for Kang. Merlin or Mirrodin knocked it over because okay, that's done, and then you just got these 4 pieces, which the only one that I can really make is Ultron and Doctor Doom. The other ones have their backs towards me, but it looks like one of them could be like a Sinister,
Yeah.
and then I don't know what the other one is.
So the other one is definitely Baron Mordo.
Okay.
And yeah, it's interesting because the one with his back turned, I think, is Sinister. And I say that because they like the Sins of Sinister event is happening next year, which is basically like the X-Men crossover event, which is like Sinister's like Age of Apocalypse kind of thing.
And the one on the right or the one?
Are
on
they
the
going to
left?
kill him after
The one on the left is with the back turned is Sinister,
That looks
but
like,
at the say again.
that looks like Vision to me.
No, it's definitely not Vision. You know, but what I will say is, it looked to me like my initial thought was actually Dracula. Like, it kind of looks like Dracula to me. But the way that the cape does its thing in the back there with like the different like individual kind of sections, that definitely invokes Sinister more so than anybody else. But my first take was, is that
Also-
Dracula?
The hair, like the little hair thing, you got the
Yeah.
little things going on.
Yeah, but yeah, it is. I you know, obviously the other two are Doom and Ultron, and then that the way that the thing does is the little foils makes that Baron Mordo, and yeah, the other one is more likely than not Sinister. And you were saying, are they going to kill him? Is that was the question?
Like what? Like he's targeting these particular people, and that's like when you're talking about somebody essentially taking over like a timeline or a moment in time that's forbidden or a missing moment. Like, what do all these have like in common? Like, how big is this gonna be? How many books am I gonna have to buy to see? Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's,
yeah.
because it's not even like this Murdin isn't even like that interesting or that like he's got a cool design, but the art in
Yeah,
his
it's all
books
right. Yeah.
it's not the greatest, and like the knights are cool, but they're like cliche a little. So it's like, are
Mhm.
these the dudes that are gonna take down Sinister and Ultron and Doctor Doom? Like, fuck that. Like, this is bullshit. This is
Yeah,
stupid.
no, I hear that. I hear that.
I know you complimented the artwork to me off the air, and I would present a. I want Oz to like judge this little piece of art for me. Jay, you can chime in on it too. And it's Kang's eyes. That look like Oz, your thoughts?
Wait, the eye hasn't loaded yet. That was the joke.
Yeah.
He's like, that's the joke.
Yeah. No, boy. Did you focus in on it?
That's as focused as it's gonna get. Like that's a picture, a screen grab from the comic book page.
But like, that's obviously like way zoomed in. Like, what's the actual thing? Look like?
I mean,
Like,
the actual
It doesn't look better. I'm looking at it like it doesn't look better.
Which part of the book is that from?
that's like page 5, I think.
Ah,
When he's talking about being born.
That's like 2 pages after the page that I hate.
wait, the page that you hated was when he's talking to the alien, right?
Yeah, when the alien whispers sweet nothings into his ear.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see the problem.
Actually,
I don't see the problem with
this is the first page, I think. Oh no,
No, it's not the first
you don't
page.
see the problem with it, Larry?
I mean, it's like, okay, don't get me wrong. It's not great. But it's not the
what is
worst
it
thing in the
supposed to
world. Like,
be, Larry? Like, if you don't think what is it supposed to be?
I thought it was Kang with his eyes closed, but it does. But now that you pointed it out, it does look a little off. It's a little weird. I'll give you that. But let me put it like this: my thought is, when I read the book, I didn't look at it and be like, "What the hell's happening with this?" It's Kang in a quiet moment.
That's the colorist, right? Like he fucked up.
It could be. It could be the colorist. It could be the. Yeah, it might be the colorist.
Wait, does it look that bad in the physical copy?
Yes.
I wouldn't. I don't think. Like, listen, it doesn't look as bad as Mo makes it out when you put it big, like he had it before. Like when it was big, it was like that's why I was like, where is that in the book? Like I was shocked because I'm like, I don't remember reading that. Oops, sorry, I'm knocking stuff over. Am I drunk? Anyway, but I didn't know where that was from in the book because I'm just like, where does that happen? But now that it's in context, I'm like, oh no, I do remember reading that page. But again, I don't remember looking at it thinking like, oh, what the hell's going on here? But you're right. Like, yeah, he should have like pupils. Kang definitely has pupils. Or something. There's
somebody decided, oh, he needs to have his eyes closed here, and they just use the eyedropper tool to collect color and drop it in, and it is like like what the fuck, like yeah, I don't. It really threw me off. Like I was like, what the fuck is this shit? When I turned to that page, like I spotted it like right as I turned the page. Like, what the fuck is up with his eyes? Yeah,
that's hilarious. No, I get it though. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at and I feel like that is a fair criticism, like something to point out.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask Greg.
Yeah, and I should mention Greg Land is the artist for this book along with. Wait a minute. Like
there's like 5 different people on it.
Greg Land, J. Layston, Patch Zurcher, and Salvador LaRocca are the artists. And it's interesting because, like, I mean, Salvador LaRocca and Greg Land are two artists that I'm super familiar with. But when I look at this art in this book, like, there's not a lot of, like, I don't look at it and feel like, oh, like, this is very typical of Greg Land or Salvador LaRocca, except for in particular parts. Like, I will say that, like, look, I'll pull up a panel where I'm like, okay, this is definitely a Greg Land panel, right? Look, hold on, I'll show it to you all right now. This is a like, when you're talking about, oh, Greg Land, bam, this right here, like that panel, not the one if you're looking at what I'm showing you, like in the middle, that's a classic Greg Land kind of face right there, where that, like,
that's a what is it? A New Universal 7.
Yeah, like, I'm 100% convinced that if you look and have read Greg Land books, like, if you will find that particular panel, that particular pose in something, right? Like, it might be New Universal 7, like Moses says. It might be something else. Like, I'm sure you'll find that somewhere. Now, it's going to look slightly different because it's not going to be Kang. It's going to be like Captain America or Human Torch
or Cyclops.
or Cyclops, right? Right? Like that panel, I'm certain has been used before somewhere. But if you look at the panel, like right under it or right above it, it's like, you know, like I don't look at this and be like, oh, that's obviously Greg Land's work. Like, this doesn't look like Greg Land's work.
The little square, yeah, but not even
the square, because like that doesn't look like
the square is Greg Land, because that's like the cover to Freddy Got Fingered, starring Tom Green.
Hey, if you say so, you know. But I will say that, you know, like, you know, you have this like you know, Murden here, and it's just like, yeah, I don't know whose work that is off the top. It doesn't strike me as a particular individual. And so I'm just like, you know. But anyway, it's like, and I know that there are a lot of, or not, I should say a lot, but I know that there are people that, like, fans that have said they feel like Jed MacKay is probably who wrote this and wrote the last Timeless as well. They feel like he's on deck to probably write the next like the next volume of Avengers. I'm not sure why they feel that. I mean, Jason Aaron's run is ending, so I guess maybe they're like, okay, it feels like he's who's next, but which I wouldn't be mad at, because, you know, Jed MacKay is good. Like, I mean, he, like, this story that Timeless 2022 was a serviceable story. I enjoyed reading it. It wasn't as good as 2021 that Oz read, which, you know, I was like, that story is like an amazing Kang story to me. And I just loved, like, every aspect of that story is phenomenal to me. If you can bring that to Avengers, I'll take it and be happy, because, you know, yeah, like Jason Aaron feels like he needs to be off of Avengers and onto something else. But, you know, we'll see. Jay, how did you feel about the art in this book?
I did not like it.
At all, period.
Not period. Just there were some panels that were like pretty deep, pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I did not like the art.
That's fair. And Oz, you've gotten to peruse it now. How do you feel about it?
The art is
Yeah.
it's fine. There's a few pages I don't like, but you know, the big book with like a lot of chefs in the kitchen. It's not all gonna be. Sometimes the salad's just a little bit fucked up. It's okay. You don't eat salad anyway.
That's fair. And Mo?
The art was like good, but every other like panel, like
Yeah, I hear that.
I can't even know who to credit for the good panels. Like, oh man, this looks good
Right.
because I know like some of the stuff that I like. I know I know maybe the fight where he takes off his armor and stuff. I think that's Salvador LaRocca or Greg Land.
Oh,
Like, I think those like that's a toss-up between those two. But yeah, it's literally like we saw that one panel with Merlin. It's like we don't know who drew Merlin. I knew who drew that little square. You know what I mean? And
right.
it's like I'm not even gonna really judge the art. Like it shouldn't take 4 people to do one book. You know?
I hear that.
I
Yeah.
DC has done that, and it's been in like, there's a clear cut reason why they're doing it. It's like different perspectives or different, it goes with the story. Here, I don't see why 5 different artists would add to the story. Yeah.
Right. No, yeah, no, I hear that. And it's also a thing too, like, oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that in the past, when you get Greg Land, a big part of his draw is that Greg Land's go get the work done on time, and so you don't need anybody else, and like that's why he gets hired. And so I don't know, like it might be a thing where maybe the other artists just did like the preview stuff. I don't know if that's the case or whatever, but I think you might be right in regards to like say where you're like, okay, well, like the like maybe the parts where you have Kang outside of his armor, like that might be Salvador LaRocca, like that could be the case. I got a panel here, like I'm looking at this and I'm like, yeah, that could be Salvador LaRocca right here, like.
Yeah,
Which, if it is,
looks like
yeah, it's definitely not his best work, which is a little weird because it's like, like especially like when you're talking about like this panel off to the right with Percival, I'm like that's just so like everything about his face and this hood, like I know what the artist is going for here, but that looks weird.
That is for sure. That Percival is for sure Greg Land because he took it from that picture of Mother Teresa.
It's Mother Teresa.
Yeah, he ripped off Mother Teresa to make Percival.
There it is. Makes sense. Makes sense. So but yeah. It's an interesting thing to like watch. Like, well, I mean, again, I guess this comes from the idea of us having read comics for however many years, decades at this point, where you're like, okay, like this is probably this and this is probably that, and dissecting how the sausage very well may have been made. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
It is a
meanwhile, none of us
thing.
can draw shit.
You say that again?
Meanwhile, none of us could draw shit.
Hey,
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm sorry. Oz can draw. He has
none of us can draw shit.
Oz has plenty of portraits of shit. Oz plenty. Tell him, Oz. Show him your friggin' drawings of poop.
You want to see a picture of shit? I'll show you when I drew Mo.
Dang! Whoa! Jay leaned in. That's how you know he was interested. Jay's like, "Oh, the show finally got interesting."
Good. Good. See how good.
No, the pint glass is clear. I didn't notice that before.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
Oz's glass has a clear bottom.
It's why would it not have a clear bottom? It's like a clear plastic. That's a lot of head. That's so much head. All this head is going in my mouth.
So weird. Anyway, okay. Should we rate Timeless, or do y'all want to talk more about it?
I mean, if we must.
If we must rate it, or if we must talk more about it?
Yeah, if we must rate it. Like,
okay. Oz.
effort.
Oz.
Right.
Well, what would you rate? Well, you can either rate the book or the review, whichever you feel more comfortable with. What do you think? Of
I don't know.
Timeless?
I mean, the review. You guys sucked at it. Like,
Thank you.
we talked about two different books that are basically the same book, and they're only a year apart. It's like it seemed like it. Like you guys were.
We were trying to talk about one book, but Marvel doesn't know how to sell one book. Marvel doesn't know how to sell just one book.
I mean,
we didn't talk about the plot at all.
We did, didn't we?
No, we talk about stuff that happens, but we don't actually talk about the plot of the book.
Like,
You're right.
But
we didn't talk about
Jay, like along with your rating, does it really matter if we talk about the plot?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, it's directly continued in Avengers, so
All right.
I don't know.
Yeah,
This
it wasn't
book
that
didn't-
great.
Say again?
No, along with your review, you go ahead, give your rating.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. It didn't do anything for me. And I guess on hindsight, it's a little better than I thought it was. I couldn't really get into at the moment I did not get into it. So I gave Timeless number 1 a 1.
Oh, 1. Wow, okay. So Oz, what's your rating?
Probably like a 2. But it's not that great.
On the book,
I just take 1.
The book or the review. By the way, this rating system is losing points as I'm trying to figure out what I'm rating. So it's just dropping like a stone.
Why don't you just rate? Why don't you just rate the book you didn't read? How about that? Since you already told us that we suck at reviews.
Let me tell you what I think of the book I didn't read instead of the book I did.
Yes,
read.
please. You can tell us about the book you did read too. You can give us
The book
both
I
of those
did read,
reviews.
Timeless number 1, was good.
It was.
Yeah.
It's really good. I didn't read the ones you guys wanted me to read.
Mm-hmm.
But I scanned it real quick and it didn't look as interesting. So
That's fair.
If you go out and you pick up the wrong Timeless book, then good. It looks better. It's drawn better, and it looks more interesting.
Agreed. Art is better.
Yeah,
Who did the art
I
in
would
the-
agree with that.
Who did the art in number 1?
I'm
Wait,
looking.
hold on. I'll tell you right now. Oh, you got it, Jay? Okay, good.
It's written by Jed McKay, artists Kev Walker, Greg Land, and Jay Liston, Mark Bagley, and Andrew Hennessy.
Damn, it has more artists on the first one than on this new one. Like, that
But
definitely has to be.
It's got to be those preview art things.
Yeah, I think so. Like, I feel like Kev Walker, I think, was the main artist
Yeah,
on
and
the
Greg
first
Land did
one.
one of the flashback things or something,
Yeah, probably.
and then
Yeah,
everything else was like the preview shit.
yeah, yeah. Moses Magnum, what'd you think of Timeless #1?
Ah, man, just I gave it a 1 just before I even read it, just because of that numbering system and the yearly thing and the whole experience, like almost buying it and then not buying it because nobody told me it wasn't a reprint. Um, what I am proud to say is that how I didn't even realize the other one teased shit for the future,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't read anything that it teased. So
I'm proud.
so then
I'm
I
proud to
found
say I
out,
don't read Marvel comics.
yeah, and then I'm proud to say that I'm probably not going to read anything that was teased in this one too. So, um, yeah, it's a definitely a 2 for me. The art was
Damn.
good in some panels, not even full pages, and it was really just these weird Merlin roundtable characters that the most interesting one was the little tarot one, but it didn't even like when you think about something
Mm-hmm.
like tarot and destiny and in relation to Kang, that fight should have been a lot more interesting if tarot is the thing that she's using, you know, or if it's just a
Mm-hmm.
motif, then it's wasted. Like if you had a tarot powered person fighting Kang, or a probability, you know, a Kang that knows all timelines and everything, future, past and present. Like it'd be a lot more interesting than it was here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely a 2 for me.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay, cool. Well, listen, I'd give Timeless #1 2022 3.5. Uh, I found it interesting, but it's not as good as Timeless #1 2021. And even though it's, both written by the same person, but unfortunately, like the actual story that was told isn't as good, and it's hard because when you're like, okay, no, I remember reading Timeless, and that's like what you're holding it up against. It's hard
Hmm.
to like read this one and be like, oh, this is just as good. They're like, no, it's not just as good, but it's still good, at least to me. Like I enjoyed it, and there were parts of it that I appreciated from a plot perspective as well as from a tease perspective. I will say that I feel like this is the kind of story where like there are definitely parts of this story where it's like if it was like in Rick and Morty, people would be like, "Oh, it's the greatest thing that's ever happened."
Well,
You know
and
what I
that's the
mean?
thing.
But
Like, I, that's how I felt about these fucking knights and Merlin. It's like I felt like I seen that in Rick and Morty, and it was done better.
and I can see that. I can definitely see that because yeah, right. Like they did just do like not that long ago, right? The was it the Knights of the Sun or
Knights of
whatever?
And also the superpowered people that just want to beat the shit out of Rick for no reason other than him being Rick. You know, like,
So
and that's
yeah,
and that's kind of how this was. And it's like, oh well, if you just ignore him, and then Jerry takes the place and with Piss
right.
Master.
This master,
Like
right,
I love Piss Master, and I hate it. Like it's
right.
like I was breathing piss. Like,
Right. And
so
hey, and that might very well might be the thing where it's like, yeah,
you
like
do not
if it was on Rick and
sexualize my
Morty,
daughter.
say that again.
No, when Jerry was like, "You do not sexualize my daughter," he beat the fuck out of him. Like, oh man, I felt good for Jerry, man.
So but yeah, no, there's definitely something to be said about the idea that yeah, like maybe it would have been handled different if it was on a different show too. So yeah, but it was interesting. So Timeless, I'll give it 3.5. All right, cool. Gents, what would you all like to talk about next?
Book of Slaughter.
Okay. Look,
Did I not tell you guys in the pre-production?
No, I'm gonna say no.
no,
No.
no.
Okay, I apologize.
Like, he's like, why in the world would y'all not just read Book of Slaughter? Like, no.
Well, I know
It
I
happened.
shouldn't read it.
Why wouldn't I read it?
Sounds scary.
Yeah, but I'll read it.
No, but
might
he's
regret
read like
reading
Something's Killing the Children. No, you read Something's Killing the Children, right?
Yeah, I'm not current, but I'm close. And I do know that Book of
I mean-
Slaughter is
You could, like, if you're 6 months behind, you're really only like 3 minutes behind in the main story. So it's not like you're that far
that's
behind.
true. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is kind of
Yeah,
decompressed in some
12
ways.
issues
You're
take
right.
place over like 12 issues take
A
place over
day.
like a 30-minute fight. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they did House of Slaughter, which I reviewed. Click the box here, so you can see that review. And then there's Book of Slaughter now, and which is like, I've always liked how the Something's Killing the Children and House of Slaughter, the way they do the world building is all through dialogue, and they give you everything you need to know about this order of hunters, of demon hunters, and they're basically the Order of Saint George, and they're killing monsters that kill children, and then they take children and turn them into hunters, and it's very simplistic. Then with every new story that comes along, like this Book of Slaughter is literally like the Book of Slaughter. Like it's this house of hunters. It's their book of records of how everything came to be. So it goes into like a prose thing, like 5 pages in, and you're reading the actual Book of Slaughter, telling you like
Oh,
all
wow.
what children go through to become killers. And basically this chick in the front, and I'm not current on any of the other ones myself. I'm behind on I think I'm about 6 issues behind on both House of Slaughter and Something's Killing the Children. So something happened where her one of her friends that's a Black Mask got killed. And
What's a black mask for the people that don't
so
know?
depending on like how she has a white mask, the white mask they hunt in packs. They're like wolves.
Mhm.
And then the black masks are loners. They hunt alone. And then there's the azure masks that they're more like the weaponers. And then the scarlet masks, which are the record keepers. Then you have like the jade masks, which only hunt dragons, but you have to get to a certain level to do that. And there's like the silver masks and stuff like that. They're different ranks. So she went into the pack, and her friend that she came up with, and I think they talk about that in House of Slaughter.
Mhm.
He got killed, which is a spoiler to me and spoiler to you guys if you're trying to read these books.
What?
So she's feeling a way about it, and her own teammates are like giving her shit because he's like, he was never meant to be anything. Like he should have just been like a Scarlet. Like he was broken to begin with. He was never gonna survive. Like he's lucky anybody took him in anywhere, like let alone here, and he lasted this long here as a Black Mask. And they're teasing her as she's mourning her friend's death, so she's deciding to become a Black Mask from a white mask. And so she goes into the Book of Slaughter, and I think they have to have her hunt down Erica, which is the main character in Something Is Killing the Children. And they say like, you don't need proof that somebody's gone rogue a little bit. Just with enough suspicion, like they'll give you the go ahead to kill her, But she's another Black Mask, and at this point, like the House of Slaughter, has no Black Masks anymore, just white masks and blue and red. And so, I think it's gonna collide with Something's Killing the Children. I guess where it ends, where I guess she's gonna have to kill her or whatever because of the events happening something is killing the children. Now I felt a little lost, but it's definitely like from reading a little bit of the other series, or I mean, I read all of. I guess maybe I'm a year behind on Something is Killing the Children, which is probably only about 6 issues. And I'm behind probably maybe about 3 issues. So they all connect, and they all like, I think like House of Slaughter 1 takes place like between 2 pages of Something's Killing the Children. So
really?
yeah, because it's like she starts giving you like the flashback, and then that issue 1 is that the full flashback. You know, you get an abbreviated version in the book, and then you get so, and that's when what I really like about these series, that they're basically like adding another title is just another world building tool, and, and this one I felt wasn't doing enough of that, because Tinian has this habit of like within 4 or 5 caption boxes, you know everything that this is about, whether you're jumping in the middle of the action or not, you know? And that's one of the things I appreciate about his books. And this one had that, but it was through dialogue, and it wasn't giving me enough. And then it turned into Rose book, and it went back to her decision to go back, and then it tied everything. So even though I'm behind, I'm like, okay, the reason I feel really lost is because I'm behind, not because this book didn't. So, yeah, it's definitely, and it's still the same artist too. So that's why I think like they don't do a monthly, like you don't get 12 issues a year. You'll get like 4, but you're getting 3 series that kind of like weave the story in and really create this big world. And I really wish they would make like a TV show, like the SVU and all that. But it's like that universe, that St. George. The Council of St. George universe, yeah, because you can you could do the administrative stuff, you can do the tech stuff, you can do the research stuff, you can do like just like the military training part, you know, like just the when it's all kids coming up, you know, because they just go after orphans, yeah,
right.
So you could literally just have a series of like just the kids in the academy, and then have the series of the kid grown up already, and you can watch them at the same time. You know, like, so I don't know. It just seems like a good idea for me for that to happen, but they'd ruin it.
Of course they would.
Just like Disney ruined Avatar.
Listen, wait. So, speaking of Avatar, Jay and Oz, did you all see that yet or no?
No.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, you're muted or something. Oz.
You mean The Way of Water, right?
Yes.
No, I told you I'm not gonna watch that.
Oh, so none of us have seen it. No, so we're the last 4.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
No, I saw the first one. I didn't see the second one.
It's the same thing, more water. Like
I always tell people, everybody asks me, "Did you see it already?" I said, "No, I already saw an awesome story about a guy that lives underwater. His name is Namor."
Yeah, no, the first one is like Avatar: The Way of the Jungle.
But also The Way of the Sky, because it's that Sky Clan and the Land Clan.
Oh, they're gonna run out of clans for the movie.
Yeah.
Space Clan.
Yeah.
So okay, cool. So wait, so what are y'all like? Oz, you're just not gonna go see it?
No, not interested.
Got it.
I haven't heard anything like. If I heard that it's an amazing movie from people I trust, maybe. But what you guys said last week is, you know, a lot of pretty screensavers. That's not that's not gonna get me out there.
But we never even saw it.
No, that's what everybody heard from other people.
Yeah, that's the word. The word on the street.
And that's what they say.
And Jay,
like The special
Oh no, go
effects
ahead.
are
Well,
really.
sorry.
They say the special effects are really good, but
Yeah. And Jay, why didn't you go see it?
It's a little long for me for like a
what
story
she
that's
said.
supposedly average. Like I would rather watch it at home, um, so I can pause it every now and then.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Really, like it's really interesting. So, man, nobody in Fantastic Four went to go see this joint, but it still made like friggin' money hand over fist, right? Didn't it? Like, well, actually, what was the box office? I don't even know what the opening box office was, but I know it was a lot of money. I mean, listen, I think it matters for just for context. Like a lot of people went to go see this joint, so
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not sure
watching,
why.
watching Avatar a second time, the first one a second time
Mhm.
was a more enjoyable experience. But I did watch it at home the second time,
Mm,
and I didn't finish it yet. But it is like that, like the special effects still hold up, and you're talking about something 10 years ago. Like
mhm.
Thanos didn't look that good, you know. So it is definitely it's one of those things. Like, yeah, it does that, but that's again like the story itself wasn't anything riveting to match all this work that went into it, you know.
As
And
Right,
of,
that I
right.
guess that's always been my beef with it.
as of today, it's at about 1.5 billion, just barely passing Top Gun Maverick.
Wow,
That was really
man,
good.
yeah,
Was it really?
Top Gun, dude, Top Gun Maverick is so good. It really is.
I can't really, and I don't
Dude,
watch it because I can't believe that it's any good. Like I don't see like
listen,
I
listen.
tried watching it 2 days ago, and like the first 5 minutes were the exact same first 5 minutes of the first movie. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go take a fucking nap.
Hey,
Like,
listen.
You don't
Don't
understand. They
watch
don't
it.
play volleyball. They play football this time.
yeah, I don't know. Like it was the exact
Dude,
same first 5 minutes. I'm like, yeah.
it's a pretty amazing movie, man.
All right, so I got
You know.
real quick. I got
Oh, Emily says here. Oh, talking about Maverick. She said
Nah,
it's all
that's
right.
not. Look,
But she fell
that
asleep
look,
during it too.
no,
I went and took a nap.
it's
She
better
stayed
than all
watching
right.
it.
Yeah.
What makes it
So
good, Larry?
you know, I feel like it has a story that
Uh-huh.
is pretty compelling, and it simultaneously like invokes the original movie while also passing the torch at the same time. Like it's almost like a inverse um like new Star Trek. You know, like how like when the new Star Trek and how it's like was kind of doing its own thing, but then all of a
Yeah.
sudden it's like, oh man, like this joint is like actually not only doing its own thing but paying homage to the original
Oh,
at
yeah.
the same time. It's like it's almost the opposite, where it's like you think you're getting like or it almost feels like at a certain point you're like it's trying to do like the just like a rehash of the old movie,
Yeah.
and then at a certain point you're like, no, like this is actually like this is a movie where it's like gonna actually like kind of pass the torch.
Okay, so
And
the first J.J. Abrams Star Trek or Maverick, which is better?
which is a better movie.
Yeah, which one you like better? It's not even what's a better movie. Which one you enjoyed watching better?
It's tough because
Okay, We'll call that a draw.
honestly,
We'll call that
my
a draw. We'll leave it as a draw. That's fine. Okay.
okay.
Maverick or Blade Runner 2049?
Oh, Maverick,
Okay.
easy. And
And
Blade
how
Runner
about,
2049 is a great
Maverick?
flick.
Maverick or Dune?
Or the new Dune,
Yeah.
Maverick. Like, dude,
Okay.
like
Okay. Now,
this
Maverick
joint is it's a
Maverick?
uh-huh.
or The Force Awakens?
Maverick.
Okay.
Like, it's a much dude. Like, understand that I was shocked. Like, you all remember how I was when they like people were first like the previews. I was like, who's even asking for a new Top Gun movie? I said that,
No,
and I was just like, yeah. I was like, I don't even understand. No,
I just-
100%.
I'm trying to gauge because you don't explain things right, so I have to break them down in little pieces like that so that I can be like, okay, now I get what I would probably like of or what people like of Maverick. Even if I don't end up liking it, I can see why it could still be good or worth watching, giving a shot.
And here's the thing. Like, I saw, the trailers would come out, and I was like, damn, that movie actually looks a lot better than it has any business being, right? And so I was like watching the trailers, and I'm just like, I think I want to see that. But even then, I still didn't go to theaters to see it. Like, I ended up watching it like after the fact still. But when I did see it, I was like, I felt dumb for not going to go watch it in a theater. I should have watched that joint in a theater when I had the opportunity to do it.
Maverick or
Like
Wakanda Forever?
Oof. It's hard, man.
All right, that's good. I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot
Yeah,
eventually.
like, it's hard just because, like, don't get like,
Yeah, no. You don't even have to explain it. Like, just the conundrum itself speaks the volume.
yeah, no, it's a good movie, man. I was just like, and that's the whole thing where it's like, Maverick ended up having a lot more layers than I would have expected. Like, I was just like Maverick is a better movie than Top Gun.
Maverick, when people told me about Maverick, they're like, "Yeah, I bet people are angry they kneeled at the national anthem now, aren't they?" Like, so that's all. Like, you know what, man, fuck that movie.
Oh, I don't know anything about that. Like, yeah,
Yeah, no, but that's how they explain it to me. Yeah, and I'm like,
nah,
that's
100% explaining it wrong.
I know, but that's why I asked them those same questions.
Nah, man, no, but it's just like Maverick. Like I said, it's a better movie than Top Gun. It's like one of those things. And don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking Top Gun because you can't make a movie like Maverick back then. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what movies were then. It's like knocking Casablanca for not having like deeper character development. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, no, like you got to meet a film in the moment that it's created. You know what I mean? And it's like, if you remade Casablanca, it'd be a whole different movie.
Disney, you cut out the sex scene.
But Maverick is good, dude. It's really good. Like, you will not walk away from that joint and be like, why did I spend this time watching this joint? And it's like, it's still like a friggin' fighter jet movie, which is crazy. We're just like, damn, like I like the same kind of feeling you got from watching Top Gun back in the day, where you're like, when fighter jets were like, felt new. It's like you get that from Maverick today.
I didn't even have that. That's the thing. I didn't have all these feelings that people have for the first Top Gun. I didn't have. So, I was like, this guy's gonna fuck this chick or what? Like, he's trying to fuck his friend over. Like, so that's
yeah. Like, who knows? You might watch Maverick and feel the same way.
Like,
you might, but I think you'll enjoy it. You said Top Gun's what?
Way woke back in the 80s.
It's way woke. Yeah, man. Damn. So look, we can't even talk about Avatar because none of us are gonna watch that joint until like who do you all feel is gonna be the first one of us to see Avatar: Way of Water?
I can answer that. I'll be the next one to
Yeah.
see it. Yeah, I'll probably.
You think
watch
you'll see it before?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
You
because
think-
I'm watching the first one again, and it's an enjoyable experience. It was the second movie Emily and I ever saw in the theater together was Avatar.
Oh, I didn't know
Although
that.
She doesn't remember.
Dang.
But-
You should just divorce
Yeah.
her. You should just divorce her.
But no. It's okay.
Wait,
so
what's the first movie?
Star Trek. J.J. Abrams. Star Trek.
J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll probably like after this. I'll probably I'm already getting hyped. Like I was watching it before we started the show, and so I left it on pause. So
Avatar?
Yeah, I only
Okay.
watched it twice. Once in the theater, and then right now.
I didn't realize that it had like emotional significance to you and Emily. If I know that,
It's to me, not to her. Clearly not to her.
because she forgot. Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like we saw
Look.
that in the theater, and I'm like, like
Look, she's like she doesn't even value y'all relationship. It's terrible.
I can still taste the grilled onions at the Ruby's Diner that was right there in that Marina Del Rey shopping center.
Right. You should totally just burn those ticket stubs you kept all this time.
I can't. I ate them, so they could be part of
They're
me forever.
They're part of you.
Yeah, so I can't.
Eventually poop them out though.
Huh?
Would you eventually poop them out though?
No, the iron
yeah,
is still through his
iron.
bloodstream.
Carbon, because it's that carbon printing paper, like the carbon went into
Right.
cells. It grew out his hair. Yeah.
Damn,
Like we
man.
even made fun of this weird chic clothing store that had like neon lighting, and yeah. But apparently, I was the only one that had a good time.
Yep. It's okay. Look, maybe one day she'll love you. Mo just was like, I was like,
The important thing is I
You
love
love
her.
her.
That's all. That's all.
right. That's all that matters. Look, there it is. That's how you know you'll last. There it is. Look, man, I tell you.
She looks like she's gonna throw a shoe at me.
I mean, we've
Look.
been asking her to for like months. So
I know. We want to buy the perfect prop shoe.
I would have said that Jay would have been the first one to see it before you told me your gut wrenching tale, Moses. but I would have just thought, at some point Jay's gonna get bored and go to the movie and watch that instead of anything else. And don't get me wrong, Oz would have been right behind that in my mind, but Jay first, and then Oz, and then maybe you, and then me. That's what I would have said. But now, like, damn, Mo's actually probably gonna go watch this joint.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're gonna watch it this
Yeah.
weekend?
I might. Yeah. I don't know yet for sure, but if I don't have anything going on, then I probably will. I was trying to plan a brunch for Sunday, but
What's a brunch?
So you're just like fuck Megan, like
Fuck me. Hopefully.
not if you were
Dearly.
so one question at a time. I'm on this thing's acting up.
Sorry, Oz. Say what were you gonna say, Oz?
You know what Megan he's talking about? Like,
Yeah, the AI movie.
dude, you don't fuck that.
Yeah.
Or do you?
She looks like an underage kid.
she
Can
is.
you?
Well, but she's not because she's artificial.
We're finding out some things about Lawrence, I think, today.
Yeah, the social justice warriors don't care.
Oh, they don't care about reality.
Right.
And they're also mad at Avatar 2, The Way of Water, because like they call them indigenous and natives and savages.
It's true.
And it's like,
Yeah.
did you not see the first movie? They did that then
Well,
too.
it was okay, but look, the first movie was like 13 years ago, right?
But I mean, you can still call them indigenous and native, right? Because they're indigenous to the
Thir-
land. Like,
13 years ago.
no, but you can still call them that now.
They're indigenous to
Nah.
that planet.
Now,
The
now
Na'vi?
it's nah. Nah.
You can call them. Yeah,
Now it's cultural appropriation. That's different.
yeah.
Oh, blue ass. Like, oh, okay. I see what he's doing here.
War paint.
Blue.
Wait,
Right. Exactly.
but aren't there? Don't, so
You say,
it's
are you
white
about
people-
to say, are there blue people? Don't do that.
No. No, in the movie, it's white people in people of color body, right? So it's like Blueface.
Oh, I don't know if it, in the new
first one it
movie?
was. Well,
yeah,
yeah,
the first one, but
Sigourney
But
Weaver,
no. But
right?
the other ones were black people. Like the native ones were
not
people
the
of
star,
color.
not Sam Worthington.
No, but like Zoe Saldana and then all her crew, they were all people of color.
Is it Sam Worthington or is he the Ford dealer? Dog
Pussy
spot.
cow. Yeah. Come on, it was Kyle Worthington.
What's the acting dealer?
It is Sam Worthington.
Okay. This dog spot show up.
That motherfucker used to walk a tiger. I was like, if he can walk a tiger. He can walk a tiger. He could definitely ride that dragon in the way of water.
wait, just the way you said it made it funny. Where it was like that motherfucker used to walk a tiger, and it's like that did happen in the commercial. I saw it. I
Yeah,
saw it.
I love that guy. Original tiger.
Yeah.
King.
Oh,
He had it on
funny,
a
man.
chain too. Like he had it on a real chain to like
Yeah, he would
look
walk
He
up.
did.
And he's like, if this thing tries to kill you, I'll pull it back. Yeah.
Old man.
Sam Worthington.
Real quick, Tiger Claw says, have you guys gotten into AI art? Because there's some out there that imagines things like Star Fox as a 90s kids show with the Jim Henson style, and the images are just mind-blowing.
Yeah, I'm not for AI art at all.
You should put those in our Discord.
What is the community consensus in the art world about this? I haven't had a chance to ask anybody.
Well,
But
the
I
thing is,
think
they're
about
paying
how
money.
have the no AI thing on their
Yeah. From what I've talked, the few that I've talked to that are against it is like, you know, you're paying money to just get your portrait done, and it's like you're paying a machine to do it, and it's like, but you won't pay an artist. Like when it comes time to pay an artist, you have all these like, no, but wait, oh, you know, and if you go to like artists, you see this all the time where it's like, oh, it's this much, oh, okay, but they're doing it to make their profile pictures look prettier. You know, and they're shelling out like, and you're paying maybe 99 cents here. People get like 5 or 6 done. That's $5. You're paying that for a machine to generate an image of you, but you don't know what it's taking from you in terms of your data and, you know, the access you're giving it from your device, you know, and you don't know what they're doing with that. So it could cost you more in the long run. And that's like one of the big problems with it. And for me, it's like, yeah, it's like I'd rather pay a person to do it, you know, than a machine. Like I'm not gonna pay a machine to do it. I know I did the cover that you guys didn't let me show on the air for DC's new Black Label book. I did have AI do it, and it worked out. And then I added to it, but I'm not good at architecture or straight lines, so I had the AI do it, but I didn't pay for it, you know. But that's one of those things. Like it's like if I would have paid an artist like Dave Johnson, hey man, do this cover for me, and I give him, you know, $1,000, I'm gonna fucking show it whether you want me or not, want me to do it or not. I paid $1,000 for this shit because I'm showing you a Dave Johnson cover. Now he might want his name on that cover. The few of you that didn't see that cover. He might not want his name on it, but that's beside the fact. I paid him, he did it, you know.
Right.
but it has his as far as like all this the Star Fox shit, like it's fun to look at, but I don't need to see Star Fox as like Wes Anderson or Thunderbirds. Like it's all fun and dandy, but it ain't. Yeah.
I will say that it's interesting, and I think Mo hit the nail on the head where it's like it's interesting how people will accept AI art and like potentially put money towards that versus actual artists like people. I think AI art has a place, and I feel like there are artists that feel that same way as well, where they're just like, especially like I've heard people that talk about where they do like graphic design, or if they do like they'll do like logos and things like that. Like the AI art helps in regards to like the iterating of things. You know what I mean? Where it's like, because we all know, or I won't say we all know, but I'll say that anyone that's had art done by a professional, especially if you're like trying to like come up with something new from a creative perspective, it's like what an artist has in mind and what you have in mind as the client can definitely be, are 9 times out of 10 are going to be vastly different. And so
I had the issue right before the pandemic. I was starting to launch a beard oil brand, and I was paying an artist to draw the label, and he gave me garbage, and then I revised it, and he gave me more garbage. And I paid him, and then I never used it. Like I didn't even do what I was planning to do. Now, luckily, I didn't do what I was planning to do because the world went to shit, and I would have invested a ton of money into a company that really is not going to flourish at all in the world
in that condition,
not taking care of your beard. So but something in me told me, you know what, like don't even worry about the art, man. Just don't make the product. Stop that.
Yeah.
So, but it is definitely like it is hard. But then I've also had like all the stuff, like my theme for Fraction of Forever, I paid a musician to do it, and we went back and forth, and it's amazing. I don't think AI could have done as good a job as he did. And then the logo for Fraction of Forever, and then the pictures, the art that I have for Fraction of Forever assets that I'm not even using because I'm not doing that. It is like I paid a person for it, and I think for that aspect of what I do, if I keep at it, I'm gonna keep paying. If not these same people, other people, but
it's more.
It's just
it's
a
more so
personal
But it's more so the idea that you can still pay a person, but you might be able to pay them a little less because they have to do less work. Because in the same way how you're like, oh, you were trying to come up with your logo for your business, it's like this guy's giving you crap, right? But he gave you crap that he worked on. And and then you're like, oh, here's some notes, and then he gave you like a second wave of crap, right? It's like and at the end of the day, you feel like, well, I should pay this guy because even though he didn't do anything I liked, he still did work. But
I actually paid him to stop drawing. Like, okay, here's your money, thank you.
No, right, and that's the whole thing, though. But what I'm saying is, you might be able to pay him like a fraction of what you paid him before, or even maybe nothing at all, because if it's like, because I mean, here's the thing: the AI, when you're like, hey, an artist might be able to say to you, "What are you looking for?" And they'll take your keywords, put them into the AI thing, and be like, which one of these do you like? And if they give you like 6-7 iterations that are like the AI interpretation and you happen to like one of them, they can actually make you a logo starting from that point, as opposed to having to work on 6 or 7 different logos themselves. And that way it's like now you're still getting an artist to you know, like talk to you about, or I mean an artist's interpretation of what it is that you like, but without them having to do all that like additional iterating of what it is that they interpret for, you know, your vision of what you would like for your logo. Because at the end of the day, it's like you can say a lot of words, but what you're going to end up liking is what you see. And so if they have, you know, 6 different iterations and then it, you know, you're like, oh, I like this one, they can actually work on that of like versions of that one. And then that's, at the end of the day, they did a lot less work than they would have if they were doing it all themselves, you know?
Yeah, I mean, look, if they use it as a tool for them, then that's fine. I don't have to deal with it.
Yeah.
I'm not
Right.
dealing with AI to get my end product, and that's not what people are doing now. You know, they're cutting the
Right.
artist out. So I can see
Yeah,
if
and that shouldn't be done.
you know, now like there's a whole other thing now in cameras with LiDAR, which is this laser type of radar that measures the room around you to add focus. And you know, the phones have it, and you know, the iPhones have it, and it works great. And that's like you're gonna get this crisp, clear image when you're
Right.
taking a video and making a movie. You're not gonna have like
Right.
you're literally cutting 2 people's jobs out, like camera operator, puller, and all this. And look, and so that is another way of you know, another aspect of that. But you know, our movie's gonna look the same. I mean, we've seen how things look different now. Like when you watch a movie like Larry, like you mentioned Casablanca earlier, or
Right.
A Clockwork Orange, or Chinatown. Like it's these movies that everything had to be done in pre-production to
Right.
get the scene right because they couldn't afford to do that many takes. Or you know, old
Right.
action scenes. You know, action scenes don't
Right.
look as heavy now because they're all AI generated images. You know,
Right.
and they don't have the same weight as the car crashes of yesteryear in
Right.
movies. You know, and it's like
Right.
some of that. Like, yeah, the movies can be good, and that relies on story. But really, it's like that feeling. It's like, man, somebody died in that car crash. Like you don't have that anymore when you see a car crash in a movie. You know,
Yeah, no, I
And
hear you.
you know, and it's the evolution. Like, I mean, people are gonna find what they like. I feel like that's why TV now is doing better than movies in terms of like attracting people to see them or engagement, is because you know that they're done on a lower a scale. Even though there can be cinematic, it's
Right.
they don't spend the money on this other shit to really make it pristine. And you know, at this point, I'm gonna be looking at that Kang with the weird eyelid and be like, "Oh, that's the warmth of the real artist." Because
Right.
AI,
You're like,
yeah,
man,
they have
if we can only
problems done by
recapture
AI.
that.
I watched the music video for Black Sabbath's War Pigs, and every lyric was done by AI. So every lyric was a painting by AI, and it's actually really good.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's not it's like creepy and accurate, like in terms of like it takes the lyrics literally and draws what the lyrics say, where the song itself has a metaphorical. The war pigs aren't actual pigs; they're people, but
Right.
they can't satiate themselves. They can't get enough war, and the AI doesn't understand that, so it
Yeah.
actually like put pigs in helmets. But it
Yeah.
looked
Yeah.
the image that it did was good because it was kind of like a what's that dude that painted hell? Like Bosk or one of those guys that painted it in his, like he depicted hell in his own blood. and so it looked like that type of art. So it kind of fit, and it was kind of cool. Some of it looked a little Final Fantasy, like Yoshitaka Amano style,
Mhm.
but I don't know if that was a parameter that they gave it, like, oh, do this one in Yoshitaka Amano style, you know?
Mhm.
So, but the video itself was good, but I'm like, okay, like, yeah, I get it. Like, I get, like, yeah, it looks creepy, but it looks creepy because the AI got it wrong. Like, it thinks you're talking about actual pigs that are fighting in a war
Right.
instead of like people that make people fight for their own greed and insatiable hunger for nothing, you know? And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah, it looked cool, but it didn't like add anything to the song really. Like it made the song even feel like if somebody actually like likes that song based on that video, it's like you're not getting it.
Mm.
All those portraits should have been just people. It should have been the last guy you elected and the next guy you're gonna elect. You know? So
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
yeah, like that's my AI. My AI would have done that. Like it'd just been pictures of
Yeah.
every president that's ever sent anybody to fight. You know, you talk about Vietnam, like it's fucking like I was watching a thing about the Hanoi Hilton, you know, and it's like, yeah, it's like they were afraid of communism. Like that's why we sent all our boys to die there. Like
Right.
the chain reaction, the domino effect. Like every country is now communist, and we don't. Not it didn't affect us not one bit, and so many people died for nothing.
Every which country is coming?
Every country around, like Laos and Thailand and Cambodia
Oh,
and
gotcha.
Vietnam, they still got, they still became communist, and nothing happened to us.
Hmm.
You know, like
Yeah.
they still sent all, and that's what War Pigs is about. You know, AI can't
Yeah.
tell you that. Only
That's
the
true.
people, the soul, the you know, the little boy listening to Black Sabbath, thinking, "Oh, maybe what if one day they force me to go to war?" You know, even though it's not something that we do now. But I heard it
Hmm.
with that historical context at like 9, 10 years old, and I'm like, man, fuck these fucking war pigs, man. Became a hippie
I,
activist at 10 years old after hearing war pigs. AI can't do that. AI can't interpret that song that way to you, you know?
right. Right. Oz, you have a take on the AI art thing?
Uh, sort of. If I mean, what I've seen looks good, but I'm the type of person that, like, even if it's a person doing it, if it's just digital, I don't really like. Technically, it's art, but I've seen a banana taped to a wall called art. I don't really. Like, I want something that the artist actually like held in his hand and drew out. In that,
Mm.
I appreciate that more. And there's a lot of artists that do a lot of digital stuff, but they do it with like a little stylus or something, and they can do the traditional stuff. So I don't know if they can like load that into some kind of printer that actually like sketches it out, maybe. But
Hmm.
I don't really consider digital art like a thing that I want. It's nice to
Wait. So
look
when?
at, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of talent that goes into that, especially when the person's doing it. But
Hmm.
I give more respect if they can do that what they did digitally, if they can do it on like paper or canvas or whatever medium, like a physical medium.
Right. So with that being said, then do you feel do you like generally feel like you give more respect to, say, a digital artist that uses like a light pen or a stylus versus somebody that's just using like a
What
keyboard and mouse?
Well, no, whatever tools they use for the digital stuff
Hmm.
doesn't matter
Okay.
necessarily if I can see something that they physically did by hand on whatever
Hmm.
medium, paper,
Hmm.
acrylics, painting, whatever if they can
Hmm.
actually do it, then they get the same amount of respect because I know they can do it. It's just easier and probably quicker for them to do it on a computer. But they still have those skills. They have that talent.
Got it.
And
so it's not even about like what medium they choose to produce the art in as much as it is you're like, do they have the talent? Like, is this like somebody that only can do this on a digital platform, or can they do it in a physical medium?
Earlier, Mo was making fun of my art skills. I can make something in Photoshop. Can I draw it? That's another question.
Right.
So somebody that can do both. And a biggest example, not biggest, but a good example of this is one of my favorite artists, Steven Sedgwick. A lot of his stuff is digital. His comics are all he does all that stuff digital, but I have some of his actual hand drawn stuff, and it's the same. Like it's the same style. You can look at his hand drawn stuff and like, oh yeah, that's one of his.
And that's one of the things too with a lot of the digital artists. Like you look at at a Clayton Crane, and he's a digital painter now. That's what he does. But I mean, I saw his art in comics on paper back in the 90s, and I knew he was good then. It just doesn't look as good, but his figure, like his anatomy, the way the the line art is the same on paper or on digital. I don't give digital artists like you still. I have the same program that made that weird eyelid. The reason I spotted it is because I'm on the lookout. Like I look on the lookout for people that use this same program to draw, because this is how I make our thumbnails for here. And it's like I don't know how to draw, but I know how to use this program, and I can see where my limit gets to that. Like if I could draw, I could be doing a lot better stuff for us, but I don't have that. And I digital art for me and physical art is not, as long as it's a person doing it, I don't mind, because I know like the fundamental, you need those fundamentals to do it. There's no shortcuts in art, and AI is the closest to a shortcut now. One of the issues that people were having with AI was that, like I mentioned Dave Johnson earlier, like you have the AI page that does that went through all of Dave Johnson's stuff so that you can say, I want it done like Dave Johnson's. It knows what to reference. So it's using his art, and he's not getting paid for it. So it's literally making a collage with all his figures, all his squares, all his circles, all his natural shapes to give you a picture that looks like Dave Johnson did it. And he's not getting a cent for it. And that's another big problem. That and there's nothing stopping them. And people are paying for it to get to make themselves look prettier for their profile pictures. Like that's the extent of it. Like nobody's making a racial commentary on DC's latest scandal like I did. They're not using AI for that. But the Tiger Claw says, I prefer digital art because you can animate this art, and it's like you can animate paper art too. Like that's what the old that's
true.
What cartoons were. True. Like it's just a little more work, and it takes a little more time. That's all.
Also, he's saying I prefer this form of art because I could change it.
Yeah, and they're doing the same thing for music. They're gonna have the same problem with music. There's an AI already making music, but it's using all public domain shit, not artists. But somehow the record companies got ahead of the game there and did it. But there's nobody representing artists to do it. So that's another big problem with it. And I'm sorry I judged your art, Oz.
No, you're not.
I'll take your art over AI anytime.
No, you won't. You'll do it again.
I mean, I'll talk to it again, but I'll still pay you over AI.
Oh, I'm sorry I called you a piece of shit.
No, it's okay. It's nothing my mother has.
All right. Anything else y'all want to talk about before we get out of here?
I did have a dissertation on. No, I'm kidding.
All right. Oz, why don't you give me some final thoughts, buddy?
It's here. Yay! I gotta make it glow.
You got to put
Make
it
it
under a
glow.
black light.
It has the stuff. Like I can feel it. You can see.
Yeah.
You can see it. So, but I literally just opened it like right before the show started. So I hasn't been under light or anything. It hasn't been charged. So we'll see. Hopefully it glows. I can't believe like this is the same issue where they first introduced Kyle Rayner.
Yeah.
Mm.
I know I've read it physically because I read it before there was digital comics. So I know I've read it, but I don't remember ever having a glow in the dark comic book. But I don't think it was in my collection anyway. It's a weird thing. I remember like in my head I thought I had this issue somewhere, but I don't remember that cover. So I don't know.
You might have gotten like a newsstand copy.
Yeah.
Maybe. And those books are like at my parents' house in LA.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go back there.
Just give me the key. I'll walk over and get them.
Yeah, look, Mo and I will film an entire segment about Oz's comic book collection. Like we will do it.
There's a couple long boxes with some good stuff.
I love it. Moses Magnum, final thoughts.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. It's another year. We're up to the same old shit, and we'll see what this year brings.
Indeed. For the entire Fantastic Forum, shout out to Jay. You know, he had to go because, you know, he has to work. But thank you all so much for hanging out with us. You know, for those of you that are here, back with us once again in the new year, we do appreciate you. I think 2023 is going to be a big year for us. So, you know, you're going to see some stuff. You're going to see some changes. You're going to see us trying some new things. If you like us, let us know. If you don't like it, let us know that too. We want to hear from you. And, you know, hopefully we grow in 2023 and, like, just bring you all what it is that you're hoping to see from Fantastic Forum. So until then, we're going to be the Fantastic Forum, and we're out. Yeah.